Hey, my name is Phil, and this is Aimee.
Hi.
And I'm tasking her with creating her very own internet radio station in under an hour.
Oh, sick.
Hey there, I'm Blondie, ready to voice your station whenever you need.
She's certainly confident, energetic and engaging.
It's great. It's a lot easier to use than I expected.
Can she do it? I've got faith, but let's find out. Back in the early days of radio, setting up a station would mean buying thousands of pounds worth of equipment, building a studio, and preparing for a life of piracy and dodging the police. But in 2026, I'm happy to report that it's so much easier, and all you need is a laptop and an internet connection. No pirate ship required, unless you want one. But how simple is it, really? If only we had a tech noob to test just how effortless modern-day radio broadcasting is.
R.
Okay, Aimee, so your task, if you choose to accept it, which I'd rather you did, is to create your very own internet radio station using Radio.co in under an hour. Now, a few disclaimers first of all. So do you consider yourself a radio producer?
No.
A radio presenter?
Nope.
Have you been a radio DJ in any capacity?
Definitely not.
And you've definitely never been on the radio at all?
No.
And you've never seen Radio.co before?
Nope.
Perfect. Cool. Well, do you think you can create your very own internet radio station in under an hour using Radio.co?
I think I can try.
Lovely. Okay, well, this is a very, very exciting task. Okay, so what we're going to do is start right now. So first of all, what you should be able to see is the Radio.co dashboard. Now, it looks like there's a lot going on, but it's really just a welcome screen. So it's showing you pretty self-explanatory things like storage space. So it's all about storing your content. So any music you want to play on your radio station, any interviews, any jingles, adverts, whatever it may be, that just calculates it there. Bandwidth, never really anything to worry too much about. That's just basically how much data is used when people stream your station. So it's kind of like a mobile data plan in a way. All of our plans that you do that. And then listeners, again, shows you how many people are listening currently. So there's nothing going on at the screen at the moment because this is a brand new fresh radio station. So the first thing we should do is probably upload a little bit of media. So I want you to go over to the upload media button in the top right and start uploading a couple of files or however much you want. There you go. And that's a good reminder, actually. So the system works very well with both Windows and Mac. So it doesn't really matter what you're using, really. Oh, and by the way, if you feel you are in the same position as Aimee here, then why not download our 10-day Radio.co checklist? It goes through everything that you may need to get your radio station up and running. You can find the link to get that here somewhere. So you've uploaded a couple there. So what we'll do is we'll upload one more, but slightly differently. Before you start selecting it, there's a little toggle there that says add tags to media. Now what tagging is basically the act of categorizing your media. So if you were going to upload 50 tracks from the 90s, I'd suggest tagging them as 90s, and then it just means it basically tags a folder, basically, so you're identifying things. And great, you've uploaded all your 90s tracks, and now I'm going to upload loads of hip-hop tracks, so I create a tag called hip-hop. So for the last track that you're going to upload, we'll just create a category for it. So if you click on the add tags to media and create the name of any tag you might like, any folder.
Coffee and chill.
Coffee and chill sounds great.
Nice.
Cool. So click on create coffee and chill, and then when you select this next file to upload, which was that one, yeah. And that should, once it's been uploaded, categorized, there we go, tag's been created, and it's now been categorized as coffee and chill. Once you've uploaded your media, it all then sits in your media library. So down the menu on the left, you see where it says media. So if you click on that, you'll see all three of your files, and that last one we uploaded has now been tagged as coffee and chill. So what I'd like you to do now is create another tag for these tracks as well. So we'll just select one of them, so maybe Big Vibe there. Mm-hmm. And at the top, again, it'll say add and create tag.
This one?
That bar there, yeah. And again, just create a different tag.
Okay. Sunny days.
Sunny days, perfect. So create that, and then press the plus button, and that should then attach it to that file. Lovely. And then we'll do the same thing for the last track. So find your groove. So that's what you're doing now. You're finding your groove with all this.
It's getting easier. Big night.
But yeah, create it there, and then add it on. Perfect. And I'd always recommend people do tagging as much as possible. It just makes things much easier in the long run, particularly if you are uploading a big collection, let's say, of 90s, or you are going to upload 100 coffee and chill tracks, tag them all as soon as they go into the system. It just helps you out. So that's the media library. So everything that you upload, regardless of whether it's music or spoken word, is all in the track section. We've uploaded a couple of tracks now, so we might as well turn the station on air. So in the top left,
Yeah.
hit the power button,
This one.
and there we go. Aimee station is now live, broadcasting all over the place. So if we go to the playlist section, which is on the left-hand side of the screen,
Yep.
so you'll see there is a playlist there already. Now, we've already put some tracks in there for a moment, but I'll explain a bit more about how this works. So how the default playlist works is it will automatically start playing anytime your station is on air, but you don't have anything specifically scheduled. So, the idea, I'm sure, of having a 24-hour radio station sounds incredibly daunting. Like, how on earth am I going to program all of that? And really, you don't need to. This is a tool that automatically fills in a lot of the gaps for you. Now, it's better if you have a lot of content, of course. We've only uploaded a handful of tracks, but this is something that will play in a very specific order anytime you don't have a specific show currently playing, and we don't have anything playing at the moment, or rather, we don't have anything scheduled. So what I'd recommend doing is going back into the edit playlist button there, and just putting in a couple of your tracks. Maybe, put them all in if you wanted to. So... and you can also drag things around once they're in your playlist. There we go.
Oh.
And and then all you do is you then click save, and that will then save that default playlist in that particular order. So at any time nothing's there, it's going to play these things in that specific order. Now, the other thing you can do in playlists is you can use tags. So not only are the tags used, for really helping you categorize everything, but you can then use those categories in your playlist. So if you click on the tags tab, there we go, perfect. Take any of those tags, so coffee and chill, big night, sunny days,
Yeah.
and pop them into the playlist or drag them across. Yeah, perfect. And what that means now is when it gets to item 8 in the playlist, it's going to play a random file that happens to have the coffee and chill tag attached to it. And what the software will do is it will make sure that every track within that tag has had a chance to play once. So it's not like if you then put the coffee and chill tag in again, it's going to immediately pick out the same one. It will allow them all to play. Again, arguably a lot better when you've got a lot of tracks tagged as that. But it certainly helps things out. And what you can do is if you put the other tags in there as well, so make sure so you've got all 3 in there, and then delete all the other tracks above it, so all the specific tracks. Great. So what you could do now is you could save that playlist and you could then schedule it for 3 hours, for example. And what it would do is over the course of 3 hours, it will play 1 random file from Coffee and Chill, 1 random Big Night, 1 random Sunny Days. It then goes back to the top. Again, pulling 1 track. And as I said, it will ensure every track in that tag has had a chance to play once. And there are certain advanced features, which again, we're not going to dive into right now, but that will help you further ensure that the same artists or the same albums aren't repeated. So again, if you've got a huge library, using the tags, yes, they're randomly chosen, but within a very specific regimented pattern, so to speak. So that's how the default playlist works. So again, if you save that one, if we made a couple of changes to it, and then click back on the playlist menu. Yes, perfect, yeah. So to create a brand new playlist, you click on the Create Playlist button on the right.
Yeah.
And then just give it a name. So what's this show? Because remember, this playlist is a show. So what do you want to call it?
Like a specific show on my station.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this can be, it'd be whatever you like. This is just, the playlist is ultimately your automated show.
So, like something to do with the morning?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Lovely. And then from here, you can assign a specific color or an image. If you had a bit of artwork for your show, you could upload that if you wanted to.
Let's go pink.
Lovely. And then click save.
Okay.
And that's now created the ability to build the breakfast break playlist, the show. And just as a reminder, I know a playlist is more synonymous with, endless music playing on rotation, but really the playlist is your show. So you could have 2 pieces of music followed by a jingle you might have for your station, followed by a pre-recorded voice segment, followed by another track, followed by an ad break. You're building this to sound like the show that you kind of want to piece together. So using those specific tracks, similar to what we did before, just put together like a show.
Okay. Definitely this one.
Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to record a couple of voice tracks. What voice tracks are is basically your pre-recording vocal content into your station. And usually people use it to give off the impression of the live host on air with you. It's just been something you've pre-recorded, but it's so much better than just having back-to-back music playing. It reminds people they are listening to radio. So we're going to record a couple of them and then we're going to return to this playlist and slot them in. So what we'll do is if you go back to the media menu,
Yeah.
and one way you can record voice tracks is from this menu here. So if you click on where it says voice tracking, and then what you want to do is click where it says create voice track towards the right. Lovely. So this is going to try and identify all the microphone inputs you have. Now, we don't have anything plugged in at the moment. We've just specifically got a microphone that's built into the computer. But if you had a mixing desk or a USB powered microphone or a headset even, you could choose that. And then what you want to do then is click on that red microphone and just simply begin talking. I'm going to throw you in the deep end and you're just going to pretend to do a link.
Okay. Oh, on worship.
Yes.
So go on anything that anyone's ever said on Ring.
So this could be, welcoming people to the show is probably the easiest one to have a go at. Thanking people for tuning in, asking people to like you on social media. So yeah, this is just a little exercise there. So if you press that, and what will happen is you'll then have a maximum of 10 minutes to use up. Now I'm not asking you to talk for 10 minutes. It could be 10 seconds, however long you want.
Okay. Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to my station. You're listening to Breakfast Break.
Lovely. And you click on stop. You can listen back to it to make sure it sounds okay.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in.
Now, if you were unhappy with that, as we did before, we could clear it, but we're pretty happy with that link. So give it a name towards the bottom. That's a title, just like intro or voice track 1 or something. Click save. And then while we're here on the menu, we might as well record another one as well. So if you click, again, create voice track. And yeah, maybe this one is going into an ad break or something like that. Just something that's a bit different.
Okay. Thank you for choosing Aimee's station. We've now got a couple of seconds of an ad break for you.
Lovely. Cool. So eventually, yeah, they're now processing. They're going to be in the files there. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the playlist menu again and we'll slot those into that show.
Okay.
Breakfast break. Yeah, if you go on the edit. And now if you click on the voice tracks option, both of those files should be there. There we go, ad break 1 and intro. So yeah, so pop those into place, drag them around, decide where you want them to go. And then what what will happen then is, track 1 of your show is you introducing it. You will then fade out and the next track will then play. And then later on, that track will fade out, your ad break will come on, and then, presumably then lead up to an ad break. So yeah, never underestimate the power of just pre-recording things. A lot of people have, honestly, a bit of a stigma for pre-recording radio and think, oh, it's not real radio. But it is. You're doing it out of convenience or out of not being as confident at it. It's certainly the best way to get a better grip on presenting and being confident with it. So I'd always recommend just pre-recording your links to begin with. And then the other things you can add in, which we don't have copies of at the moment, but there's the idea of recordings. So as I mentioned earlier, what recordings are is when you schedule yourself to do a live real-time show, you can have it capture it in the background. So say, for example, you did a show last night that you thought, people really, really liked, but there were people with it being live that they couldn't listen to it at that time, doing other things, or they're in different time zones even. So you might want to repeat it for those who did miss it. So you can take that old show, put it into a playlist, and you've got a second wave of playing it. And, that's just a much longer file that you can play. So that's what recordings are. So we've built our playlist, which is great, and now we need to schedule it. So if you click save again at the top, and then we're going to go to the schedule, which is the next option down on the left rather. Great, cool. So there's different ways that you can view your menu here. We've got our monthly view, but what we're going to do is we're going to move to the weekly view.
Okay.
And what you'll see is across the top, you've got your days of the week, you've got your timestamp by the side, and we want to create an event for, roughly later today. So the best way of doing it is clicking and dragging. So if you find roughly round at the time that we are on right now.
What time is it? So like 1 o'clock?
Yeah, perfect. So what you do is click and then drag. Maybe do it on Thursday on the day today. Yeah. So maybe 1 till 3. So click and drag. Lovely. There we go.
Yeah.
Great. So what they're doing now is we've created an event, very much like we've booked something in Google Calendar or something. We just now need to specify the details of it. So the first thing is, what type of show is this going to be? Is it going to be a playlist? Is it going to be a live show? Or is it going to be a live relay? So for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll do it's a playlist. We want to play the playlist that you've made.
Yes.
So that's the first option. The second question is, okay, well, specifically which playlist? So if you click on that drop-down menu where it says playlist, you'll be able to choose between default and breakfast break. So if you click on that,
Breakfast break.
perfect. That means we are now going to play specifically the breakfast break playlist. It's now going to ask you to confirm when does this start. Well, it starts today, the 16th of April at 1 p.m. It's going to play for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's going to finish at 15 minutes past 3.
Okay.
So that's great, okay, but it knows what we're doing. The next question it asks you is, do you want this to be a regular show? So I know what you're doing today. Is this show going to be on air tomorrow as well? Like, is this going to be like a breakfast show? Is it going to be on every day at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you do is select a couple of days, or you can select every day. And what this will do is this will ensure that for the rest of this current week, it's going to schedule it at the exact same time across all those days. Great. And again, you have the ability to do all as well if you want to do it every single day. Great, so it knows what you're doing this week. The next question is, well, what about next week and the week after that? Again, is this going to be a regular recurring show? Even if it's just going to be once a week, is it going to be every week at the same time? So where it says repeat every, click on that drop-down menu, and for now we'll select 1 week. So this means it's going to repeat it every single week.
Okay.
And then you have the ability to select any date, any random date within the next 2 years, and it will schedule it every week up until that point. So so select on that calendar and just choose any date, as far as advance if you want to, in a few months' time,
So June, what day does it say? The 16th of June.
Perfect. And then click create, and then you give it a second or two. There we go. And if you scroll all the way to the correct time, there we go. So starting from today and for the rest of the week, which, the Monday to Friday we scheduled it for, the breakfast break playlist is ready to rock and roll 1 to 3:15. And then if you flick on the option there just to switch to like next week's view, and then scroll towards the top.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. It's scheduled Monday to Friday next week, and it will be the same time and time again until the middle of June. So that's how you do an automated playlist. An automated playlist is something that's just going to be, as it suggests, automatically start playing. With the system being all cloud-based, you've done your job. You've turned it on, you built a show, you've instructed the system what you want it to do, it will do it for you. So this will automatically start playing at 1, and it will automatically finish playing and fade out at 3:15 in this example. Great, so if you click on the bottom where it says today,
Yes.
to take us back to the show and scroll up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to apply a couple of settings to it. So if you click in the show that you've just done, there is an option that we have called Overrun. And what Overrun does, you can see it there, it's a little toggle towards the bottom. What naturally happens is with our system is it will automatically fade out at the end of a show because it's been told that's when it needs to finish. So even if it was halfway through playing a music when it got to 3:15, it's going to fade it out. And it's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people would rather have shows finish with the start finish. Yeah. So what this allows you to do, if you turn Overrun on, it's a bit of an advanced feature. If you turn that on, what that'll mean is if it gets to where it's supposed to finish, but something is playing, it simply allows it to finish playing. So it's an option there. Do you want to keep things running strictly to time, or do you want to be a bit more loose with it? So that's one setting. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to schedule it as a live broadcast now. So if you click on the option in the middle where it says live DJ, there we go. So again, with our system being all cloud-based, you can broadcast live from anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection. Now, you will already be a user on your account because or it might be Rowan or something like that. So if you click on where it says live DJ,
Yeah.
there you go. So Rowan, we're on his account here. So Rowan currently is a live DJ. Now, we could invite other people onto the account as well. We won't do that now because it will probably require you jumping on your computer and accepting an invitation.
Yeah.
It's what we will do though. But yeah, so this means you can have multiple people from all over the world accepting an invitation and being a host on your station. And they can do that as long as they have an internet connection. And you are telling the software that this person is the specific person who wants to go live. So if I try to log in and go live during that time, I can't because I'm not Rowan. Now you set something called a backup playlist. And this is, again, with the system being cloud-based, it will be keeping an eye on things. So if you were doing a live show and there was suddenly a power cut in the studio, or you were late starting the show, this backup playlist will automatically take over for you. So it means that there's no dead air. That's, the worst thing you can have on radio is just plunging your listeners into silence. So this just ensures that this specific playlist, so breakfast break in this example, is going to automatically take over if it needs to. So that's what that'll do. And then it asks you the exact same questions that it did before. When does it start? Days of the week, how many weeks in advance, but you now have that added option, as I mentioned earlier, to record your show. So if you click on record broadcast on, what that'll do is as soon as this show starts at 1 p.m, it'll begin capturing it in the background, and when your show finishes, you'll have an MP3 file of that show. So now if you click on save, it now asks you, do you want to just update today's show, or is this going to be an update for all of them? And we'll update all of them. So option at the bottom that updates all events in this series. And we're now changing that entire series of automated shows, we're now making them live. So again, so if you scroll to the top, there we go. So 1 till 3:15, it's now live DJ with Rowan. We know what backup players will play, and the little R icon just means it's definitely going to be recording. So that's all that's involved really in programming. You know, it is just clicking and dragging, deciding is this going to be a playlist, or is this going to be a live show? And you can do back-to-back shows. So you, after this show finishes, you could schedule a playlist immediately afterwards. You can leave chunks of time within your schedule because you have that default playlist, which has now been fleshed out with a few more tracks. So that's how our programming works really. And the beauty of this is you have a 24/7 playground essentially. So a lot of people worry that, how many hours of music should I broadcast? When should I be on air? What's the best time to do this? And there are some answers, yes, but you have full freedom over this. This is your station, so you program this exactly how you want. Do you want to turn your station off after a few hours? If you want to, absolutely. Do you want to keep it 24/7? By all means. So yeah, you have full freedom to do however you like. Now, a couple of extra things again. So I'm not going to go too much in the weeds of advanced features, but a couple to point out is we have our feature called Voice Studio. So if you click on where it says Voice Studio towards the on the left. So Voice Studio is, have you used anything like GarageBand or Audacity or Adobe Audition? And
I've used GarageBand before.
Yeah, so this is kind of like our version in a way of what GarageBand is, a digital audio workspace. And this is our arguably a simplified version of it. So this, instead of building a pre-recorded show, purely playlist based, one thing fades in after another one fades out. This allows you to overlay tracks and like you're building a multi-track project like you would do on GarageBand. So if you go on where it says get started, so what we can do now is add a track first of all. So add in any of the music files we have, so add media from your library, and probably add one of the longer files that we've got. Yeah, lovely. Great, and then maybe add in one of your voice tracks that you created. So there'd be add voice track from your media library.
Let's do the intro.
So what you can do now is you can move these tracks around. You could have that track overlaying completely that voice track if you wanted to, or you can have it come in at the start. So have a play around, just dragging around those as you like, really. Like such.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. To make it even more, what you can do is you can adjust the volume envelope of it as well. So if you click on any of these little, you mute it or the volume, there we go. Click on that and you can adjust exactly how long this fades in and out for. So again, just like using something like GarageBand or Audacity, this just allows you to build a show where you can arguably make it a lot slicker. So you can have you talking completely over the closing 30 seconds of a track rather than it simply crossfading during a playlist. So that's what our Voice Studio does. Is a really, really neat tool that, it gives you a lot more flexibility with how you build your shows. I think you can have a maximum of 5 tracks as well, so you can, upload a few others. The other thing you can do as well is you can record your voice tracks through there. So if you click add track, in the exact same way you can record your voice track, instead of it doing in that previous menu, you can do it here and then immediately pop it in. You can also use a toggle called use script. So whereas earlier you were unsure of, what am I exactly going to say? If you want to, you can write a script so it's in front of you and it's there ready to go. So if you click on that, there we go. And we've incorporated a bit of AI into the platform as well. So if you wanted the software to suggest what might be a good intro for a link, you can click on any of those options and it will generate a bit of script.
Unused.
There we go. So this has helped you get an idea of how to craft the structure of this news item. It's given you a suggested headline and then how you best to distribute those news, or if you do a jingle, for example, here, keeping you company 24/7. This is Aimee Station. That's a pretty good jingle. And then you can record it and then slot that in directly into your project. Now, the other thing you can do is you don't have to, if you don't want to, rely on your own voice. We do have a lot of AI voices open as well. So if you come off that menu here, yeah, happy to discard, click Add Voice Track again. Yeah. And now we've got Generate AI Voice. Now, again, in the world of a creative industry like ours, there are a lot of opinions, very valid opinions about how AI can serve this industry. What I like to use AI for personally is for the more mundane tasks. So if I wanted to do a news report or a weather report or traffic, things that are very factual based, I'm more than happy to use it for that. If I want something that's got a bit more personality to it, I would much rather record it myself. But another way to look at it is if you're a one-person band radio station, you might want to make it seem like your station's bigger than it necessarily is. You've got other DJs, you've got other personalities on your station. You generally can't afford to pay people to do that yourself. Whereas, getting a few voices here and there, even if it's just for jingles, promos, a few links here and there, just makes your station feel, I think, a bit busier. It makes it makes more variety. Exactly. You're just just a one-person organization here. So if you click on Generate AI Voice, and then select Voice at the top. So we have a couple of dialects. So the default is US voices. We don't want the US voices, I'm sorry. We'll go for the UK ones.
Yeah, so
there we go.
well, there's lots of options.
Yeah, and what they do is this gives you tags basically to show you what sort of presence this voice is going to give. So if we click on Emma, for example, she's cheerful, light-hearted, and casual.
Oh, okay, nice. So can we play?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, whatever.
Hey there, I'm Emma, ready to voice your station whenever you need.
There we go. So yeah, we had a good sort of voice there. And then we've got maybe Lewis is knowledgeable, formal, and confident.
Hey there, I'm Lewis, ready to voice your station whenever you need.
Thank you very much, Lewis. And all these voices, there's a lot to choose from. They all vary in terms of different approaches, different vibes, let's say. But there will be one for you. Some of them sound really, really lifelike. And then what you do is if you're happy with any of them, so you can select any one you like.
Can I listen to this one?
Absolutely, yeah, Blondie.
Hey there, I'm Blondie, ready to voice your station whenever you need.
She's certainly confident, energetic, and engaging, I can tell you that. So yeah, let's have Blondie, yeah. And then again, similar to writing your own script, you can write it yourself, or you can have her voice a jingle for you.
Let's try that.
There we go. And then generate it. Give it a little bit of time. And your subscription will come with a monthly limit of how many prompts, how many AI credits you can use. There we go. She's created the link. Let's see what Blondie sounds like doing this link.
No commercials, just the best music, Aimee's station.
There we go. So, not bad for a first attempt anyway. So these, the way you can write your own script, you can space it out better. But yeah, I think the AI voices are really useful for creating, I said, promos and jingles, very fact-based things. But if you were happy with that, click Add to Voice Studio. And there we go, and it's in your project, so you can now move that around, decide where you want that to go. That could play just before the music swells and takes over. But yeah, like I said, it's for someone who's familiar yourself with something like GarageBand like this, it's a really great, easy tool to build a show. Yeah, you're spending a lot more time on it, but you're creating something that's more unique, more slick, more smooth. But of course, building a show through purely playlist base is again, plentiful way of doing it as well. So that's Voice Studio. Like I said, a bit more of an advanced tool, but it has so many good uses to it, and it's definitely something where once you feel a bit more confident, absolutely using it, and then all you do is you click on where it says Export.
Yeah.
There you go. You can download it straight away or export it to your media track. So let's do it on the media track. So export, add to media. Give it a name. Maybe it's show 1 or something like that. There we go. Export to media, and you give it a bit of time. Obviously, it will take longer the longer the file is, but that could then rest inside your media library, and you could then put that entire track inside your playlist.
With everything in it.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to play as one large file, but that one file could be the only file in your playlist. So yeah, ultimately, if you want anything to play on your station, it just has to be in a playlist, that's all. Cool, and then the last couple of things really are based around how people listen. So how do you begin promoting your station? So if you, so I think go to a return to session on that one. And I want you to scroll down onto the left until you find listen. It's just above it. There we go. Click listen. So the simplest ways people can listen are through like a listen link, like here. If people click on that, all it does is open up a black screen with a play button. So it's not the most attractive way of people listening, but it's an easy way. The main purpose of those are to submit to things called radio directories. There's a couple of examples you can see on the screen there. We have a list of about 30 or 40 we generally send to people. And those are places on the internet that people go to specifically to listen to internet radio. You create a profile on there, you upload the logo for your station, a bit of a blurb about what it's about. But it just opens up and makes your station a bit more accessible. Are you a web person? You have built your own website or have your own website currently?
I've dabbled.
That's definitely more than me. So what we do is we have something called a web player. So you click on the next option down, a web player, and this is something that you can embed onto a website very, very easily. It's something where it can display the artwork of the files that are playing, track and show information. If you're doing a live show, you could have a custom logo that's your face doing the live show. This is something that's just far more visually appealing. It's people go to your website, tell people to go there, and they just press play. So we click on where it says Add Player on the right. There's a couple of different options. I like to go for the classic. Stick with the classics to say, and just give it a name. So
To do with my station.
yeah, or test one, example one. It's something that's I don't think it won't be anything that'll be visible to your audience anyway. So here you can play around with the size of the player, again, whether you want the artwork to be enabled. There are certain things called like pop-outs, just means if they go to your website and press play on that, it opens it on a separate window. So if they leave your website, your station is uninterrupted, it carries on playing. Literally, it's just answering a couple of those questions, then you just copy and paste that onto your website. And that's all involved. And as long as your station is on air, ours is off at the moment, but as long as it's on air, people can click on that player and start streaming the station from there. So that's a very, very simple way, even for someone like myself who's never built a website in their life. I'm confident I could at least copy and paste this into place. And there are other things that the software can do as well. You can have a schedule that you can copy and paste on your site as well, so people can see certain shows you've got coming up. And again, a way to expand on this, which again, for someone who's completely new to all of this, is that you can actually very easily build your own mobile app or your own smart speaker command for Alexa-enabled devices. So again, to someone who's never done that before, you basically follow a questionnaire. It asks you, what do you want your app to be called? What logo do you want on there? What colors? Our team then get it built, get it released. Usually within about 2 or 3 weeks, you have your own app on the app stores.
That's crazy.
So we do all the heavy lifting for it. You just tell us, I want it to have this logo, or I want these links to my social channels. And same with the Smart Speak application as well. So even as scary as running a radio station sounds, arguably having, I've never built an app in my life. How on earth do I do that? Well, we do it for you. You just tell us roughly what kind of design choice you want on it, and we get it built. So all of this is really, really straightforward. And the final part is to do with statistics. So once your station is on air, how do you monitor it? How do you know your station's performing well? So if you scroll down a couple of menus on the left, you'll find statistics. And statistics, obviously it's not going to show anything on this station we've just created, but if this was on air for a moment of time, we'll be able to show things like, where people are based. It's a worldwide station, so where in the world are people finding it? How long are people on average listening for? What's the most popular web browser of choice? Are people listening primarily through their phones or their computers? But there we go. What do you think? What's your initial impressions, having never seen the platform before? What do you make of it?
It's great. It's a lot easier to use than I expected.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do this. I think there are some bits that I would probably need a little bit of practice in, like the voice recording. But even the fact that AI can do your script for you, and also it shows it in front of you, so you don't even have to memorize it or bite down. Yeah, very nifty.
Good. Yeah, and like I said, to at least get something up and running, it's as simple as uploading a few tracks, putting them inside the default, turning your station on air, and at the very least, even if it's just the same looped tracks playing continuously, that is your radio stream at least up and running to some capacity. Cool, so there we go. Pretty simple, I'm sure you'll agree. Now imagine what you could do with, another hour of playing on it, another day, another week, or another 14 days. Because here at Radio.co, we offer a 14-day trial. So anyone watching this video can really honestly try and make their radio station for themselves. So head to the link in the description to find out more. Feel free to book in a free demo with me if you want a bit more of a personal consultation, just like what Aimee's had here, and we'll help you get up and running. But that free trial is the first place to go to really get a good experiment to play around with what the software can do. So thanks for helping me out, Aimee. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you everyone for watching, of course. So Take care and happy broadcasting.
And just before you go, have you ever thought about launching your very own radio station? What if I told you that it's literally never been easier to do just that? Especially with our award-winning Radio.co platform at your fingertips. And broadcasting experts there to guide you all the way. Want to know how? Then book in a free demo by visiting radio.co/demo to schedule in a quick, casual, helpful conversation with myself or a colleague. We'll even give you 20% off your subscription just for attending. It's all right, isn't it? We'll show you just how easy it is to get your own internet radio station up and running in mere minutes. Whether it's building playlists of your favourite music, scheduling in a live, real-time program, even building your very own branded mobile apps, Radio.co does it all. Still interested? Well, visit radio.co/demo and let's live out your dream of running your very own global internet radio station.